Welcome to the Sea Archers podcast. I don't know how to say it.
Say it. Good job.
This is the Sea Average Podcast.
Welcome to the Sea Average Podcast.
Welcome to the Sea Average Podcast.
More like the world's okayest podcast.
What's up, everybody? Sea Average Podcast, episode 59. I am Chris Webb. Today we got Tyler Thomas, Kevin Salyer, and Mikey Scheid. Also, we got a special guest for the last episode of the year, I believe, because I ain't going to do another one next week. That's too busy. Too much shit going on. But for today, we got a special friend of us, actually my cousin, Officer Conner Jones of the Kenton Police Department. One reason I brought him up on here, because I was actually telling the guys about this. We were at my brother's bachelor party, and my cheeks hurt so much from laughing, and I was in so many like tears, just crying, laughing so hard of some of the stories that Conner would tell me about is like him on the job in Kenton. Kenton is like Kenton's what? A small town. What's the
Yeah, I think population's like 8,600. So I mean, it seems big, but it's just not. I mean, there's 2 state routes in it, so I mean, you're in and out.
I'd say it's probably about like how Delaware was for us back then. Delaware got a lot bigger now, but just from one of the stories, you're just telling me the story of your very first arrest. Go ahead and start off with that and tell them what it was.
The dude that his pants fell down.
I was always told it. Well, you took that one too, but the goat.
My sheep, man. So I mean, we're in the middle of like just a bunch of cornfields, like primarily like source of income is farmers here. So I had just gotten like to be by myself essentially. Like I didn't have to ride with anybody. Like I was let go. So I was just driving around town and I saw like a big animal in the road. And I thought it was just a dog. So I pull up to it and it was a whole ass sheep, like a grown fucking sheep in the middle of town. So I like radioed out, like I'll be out on whatever road with a sheep, and no one believed me. So literally like everyone showed up, and here I am like running this sheep down to like catch it. And eventually I got it, and I put it in the back of my cruiser because I didn't know what to do with it. Like I called a vet and they're like, we're not just going to take a random sheep. So I put it in my cruiser, and then I just drove it out to our dog pound and put it in a dog kennel. And long story short, some lady actually like called and was like, hey, I drove through your town and was like, I got home and my like gate on my trailer was open. She's like, is there any way you might have seen my sheep? And they're like, no bullshit. Like a police officer found it and like took it to a dog pound, and she came and got it the next day. So yeah, that was like 4 or 5 weeks on the job. And I was like, well, that really is like a story that can't be topped. And it happened way too early in my career.
You said you're 2 years deep. That
was a good one. What's that?
How long you been on the force now?
Like 2.5 years. It'll be 2.5 years in January.
I mean, that's just one of the many stories you told me. I know some of the guys have questions about different things too, at least when it comes being a cop, because us being civilians, we don't get to see the other side of it, to where what can we get away with and what can we not? Like how do we get out of getting the tickets, and how do like that kind of thing too? So I don't know, like I know it's different for different departments and different things, but like I guess what is it for you when it comes to like speeding tickets?
Dude, I haven't wrote one speeding ticket. I've wrote one. That was it. And so like, truth be told, like half of our cars, like we only have like 3 radars out of like 6 police cruisers that we have. And it's mainly for the reason that Kenton's just not big enough to like catch speeders. Like you might catch someone like coming into town, like from a 55 to 35, but it's kind of like not worth your time. You could sit there all day and plug them, but
It's not even worth it.
I don't know. My thought on tickets is I'm not a very good driver in general. So I try not to ride them unless it's like absolutely necessary. Like if someone's just like driving terribly in front of me and they continue to do it. But most of my like traffic citations come from like drug stops. Like if I see a car leave like a well-known like drug house, whatever probable cause I can get on them, I was always told, you know, you issue them the citation for why you stopped them. So like a lot of it is like there's a basically Ohio law reads that if you're going to make a turn, you have to use your turn signal, but you have to use your turn signal 100 feet like continuously before your turn.
Yeah.
So I'll get behind people and they'll come up to a stop sign and they'll realize like, oh shit, he's behind me. I should use my signal. So then they flip it on at the stop sign, which then like puts them in violation of that 100 feet. So, you know, like if someone pulled me over for that, I'd be like, that's bullshit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, I'm a realist, and even I will tell people like it's a bush league move, but if it comes down to it, I will do it. You know, I don't want to. Like, I wouldn't just go pull over like a nice ass car because they did that. You know, I would assume that they're probably like doing better things. But that's like,
you see him coming
that's
from
kind
a
of my
crack
money
house.
maker. Yeah,
I gotcha.
Exactly. And that's like essentially just the money maker for that. And then there's another one too, like you can't have like stuff hanging from your mirror and everyone has like air fresheners or something.
Really?
Like, that's
Their
considered
mask.
yeah, it's considered like obstructing your view.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Masked. So like,
aren't stickers?
it reads no, stickers are fine. If they're on the front windshield, then it's a different story. But on the rear, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
But like,
all right.
Like anything on the front windshield, like it falls in the same if like your windshield was cracked. You know, like they say it obstructs your view, which it doesn't. But that's just the way the law reads. But again, that's like a bush league move, and that's like last call. That's what I'm doing. That's all I can get.
Yeah.
I feel like those laws are written just so police officers can pull people over for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. That's, you know, I tell people all the time, like, people always ask me, like, you couldn't pull me over. And I was like, dude, if I followed you long enough, I would find a reason. And it just depends how shitty I want to get. Like, how low do I want to go?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like I could find a reason, but I don't want to.
That's the difference between you and State Highway Patrol.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, I'll pull people over for like stupid shit, and I'll tell them, and I'll be like, listen, like, I'll give you a warning every day of the week, but as soon as you get on like the interstate, like OSP, they're probably not going to cut you the same break. So like, don't come back like, well, don't come back like that cop gave me a warning, because like we're just two different. We organize, like, run our departments like so much differently than those guys. They're like a military basically.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Is it
know.
like Super Troopers, where you guys sit there and bitch about who gets what or whatever? Like all the movies when the other agency comes in and takes over.
No,
You have
I'm
a
like all
Farva?
for it.
Who's Farva?
You have a Farva on the force?
Or is everybody far
Yeah,
on
he
that
got
force?
fired.
He got fired.
He was going to, I think
Because he didn't get his liter of cola.
So he just resigned. But yeah, that was pretty much our Farva. This one kid, man, he was a fucking goober. Like, all the time he was doing something stupid. But now, like, I always wanted to do like the Super Trooper tricks. But
I said, did you
I
ever
haven't,
like you ever like try, like, have you ever fucked with somebody and like did something like that, you know, whole meow thing, you know, just like Super Troopers? Have you ever like nonchalantly did it and people like caught it or not catch it?
I mean,
you get bored sometimes just sitting there. I mean, some days I'm sure you don't see shit and you're just
I
like,
know. Well, especially like I work third shift now, man, and nothing happens. And, you know, like, so I do get bored and I have to like find reasons to like keep myself up. But
do you
one
go
of
bust
my
the high school parties?
Oh, hell no, dude.
You don't
No, I stay away from that. That's way too much work for me. I stay away from that.
Even perfect for Delaware, damn.
Dude,
Shit happen all the time.
Well, I mean, I try to be like, I mean, as you saw at like Zach's bachelor party, I can get a little reckless.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty much, that was my lifestyle for a long time. So I try to be like real and be like, okay, every kid like went out and partied.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, I don't want to be the dude who's gonna be like, no, fuck you, man. You're getting a ticket, or I'm gonna ruin your whole like underage life until you turn 18 because you were drinking a beer. Like that ain't me. So
look at this guy. So when I had my brother's bachelor party, we went paintballing. Connor was like, fuck yes, I'm mowing down everybody. We did like, it was only what, 6 of us total. So no, it's 5.
Five.
Only
It was
5 of
only
us.
5
It
because
was like 3. So we did
your
like,
dad didn't go.
we had the whole fucking park, just 5 of us. And so we did like just 3-on-2 kind of games, whatever. The very first fucking thing, I was against him. And you say go. I like just like peek my head behind this thing. Right in the face. First shot. Bam, right in the mask.
I did pepper you.
Fuck.
Bro, I
Son of a
think
bitch.
I mean, Zach got a pretty good one in the back of the head, but
did.
that one I caught in the ribs, I had a bruise there for like a week, man. I got peppered good.
We all got fucking lit up. And I was pissed that what's his nuts didn't get
Oh, Brennan.
Brennan get at all. Didn't even tell any. Didn't tell us till everybody's like unloading all their guns because we're done.
Just
What the
shoot
fuck
for
going on?
fun.
This guy, I didn't get hit at all. We're like motherfucker, because we would have lit his ass up. We knew that.
Yeah, dude. It was a good time.
You guys ever go like fuck around with your guns at all if you're bored?
When we're on like day shift, we will. Like, well, we have like a range right outside of town.
Yeah.
So we'll go shoot occasionally. But so we have like an SRT team, like a SWAT team.
And little ass Ken has a SWAT team.
It's like a
2
joint
dudes.
SWAT team.
I was like,
It's like joint with like our sheriff's office. So, but I mean, you know, like in retrospect, it doesn't get used a lot. It's kind of more so just like a security thing,
Just in case.
because
Yeah.
it's the just in case. And then like they work with like other counties, like they'll go to like Logan County a lot and work together because Logan County is a little bit smaller too.
Yeah.
So they'll go together and like work on stuff if they have like a serious thing. But it doesn't get used like as much as like if Columbus would use one.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's to be
Makes sense.
expected.
Right. Yeah.
So what's some of the, I guess, craziest things you witnessed being an officer?
Dude, the one that always like sticks out is, this was like not too long ago. So like, I mean, I can only work like in the city of Kenton, of course. There's some gray area there though. Like the city boundary of Kenton is all jacked up. Like there's parts that are like kind of out like a mile out into like our county that are technically like still city, but then it's like county jurisdiction like in between them. Like it just depends how this like business got annexed, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's like a road that's maybe like half a mile outside of town, and so they got a call for like a car like ran into a tree or something. It was on fire, and I was literally like the closest one. So you know, I asked for permission, like, "Do you want me to go?" And I go there, and a deputy who, he wasn't in uniform. He had like a meeting that day, had just left his house, which was like half a mile down the road.
Yeah.
So he was in like plain clothes. So he like beat me there. When we get there, it was some dude who had like tried to kill himself, like wrecked his car into a tree.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
so somehow by like the grace of God, I mean, he hit a ginormous tree, but it was dead. Like I mean, if you were like looking at it from the road, you're just like, okay, tree, I'm gonna smoke it, and that'll be the end of me. But it was dead, so it just like exploded. So I go up there, and the like detective, he's a detective. He's like, his fucking leg's broke, and I'm like looking at him. I'm like, dude, his leg's not broke. And so an ambulance comes, and they like parked kind of down the road because you know stuff was on fire.
Yeah.
And he's like, pick him up. We're going to carry him there. So we picked this kid up. I shouldn't call him a kid. He was in like mid-20s. Pick him up, and I look down, and dude, his fucking foot is just like swinging back and forth, like just like a thread of skin, and there was just like bones. I was like, oh, fuck me. Maybe his leg is broke. Yeah, that was like, I was like, oh, that is a problem. That's a slight problem. But yeah, I was like, obviously, like, I don't know what anybody's like religious standpoints are. I don't even know what mine are. But I was like, maybe there is a God and he was looking out for this kid today. Because, you know, like, I mean, of all things considered, like a broken leg.
Yeah, he
that
got off
bad,
pretty
like,
well.
yeah,
Better than
I call that a
suicide,
win in
yeah.
my book. So
Dangling, but yeah,
yeah,
could have been.
I've been carrying him.
Right.
yeah, that was probably like 3-4 months ago, I think. But
Oh, really?
I had one, but it's still pretty fresh, so I probably shouldn't talk about that. But
Yeah, I don't want you to
if
get
I
your
ever come
exit.
back, if I come back on in a year, we'll discuss that one. So keep that one in the memory bank.
There you go.
You got to keep a journal.
Keep us on.
Dude, like I said, I went back to my like third shift this week, and like we don't like it's just really slow like during the week. So I was like going through like my files and like watching like my old body cams to like find some like good stuff. So I wish I like could have like burned them off and like played them for you guys just to like
Oh,
see some of
yeah.
these people. But
Definitely, you definitely use that. It'd be
yeah,
sick.
the foot hanging on by a thread, that was that was like wild to me. I was like, oh shit, like maybe this is bad. Because at first I was like, dude, his leg is not broke, and he's like sitting in the ditch just fine. I was like, there's nothing wrong with this kid.
He lifts it up.
It wasn't like screaming or crying or anything, and sure enough, his foot was just barely hanging on. I did find out they saved it though. He'll probably just like walk with a limp for the rest of his life. But
Damn, that's crazy.
I had one I was like thinking about. I had two people, they're like drunks all the time. So we dealt with them like quite frequently. Like they'd always call the cops on each other. And they would literally call the cop. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just like being the small town. You're like that with a lot of people.
Hey,
But,
Steve, doing this again, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these people probably didn't remember my names just because they were like wasted all the time. But they would literally call because they'd get in a fight because they'd run out of beer and they would fight over the last beer. And no shit, like the story is the dude in the like relationship, he didn't have any legs. So he was in a wheelchair. So his like old lady girlfriend would like call, and literally one time I was like, why don't you just go in another fucking room and like lock the door or something? Like walk away.
Right.
Like
Let them
yeah,
duke
it was
it out.
like it was like Scary Movie 2, like with the dude in the wheelchair. He's like, I'll just be the bigger man and walk away. I was like, why don't you just like just go, like get out of here? But so I'm like, I remember the one night where they called and they're like, we're down to our last beer. He's like, she was trying to grab it from me, blah blah blah. So I'm like trying to talk to him.
Oh my god.
And homie in the wheelchair is like behind me. And I like glance back and she like is pointing at him. I glance back and he like pulls the beer out from like behind his back. It was like in the wheelchair, cracks it and just starts chugging it. And she's like trying to run after him. So I was literally just like, this is unfucking believable. But I ended up having to like arrest that guy with no legs and like carry him into my cruiser.
No legs, Larry got arrested.
Yeah. I was like, that's a first too. I mean, I arrested a guy with no legs. So I don't know how this is possible.
I think he's gonna run away.
Yeah, exactly. I literally, we had to arrest him and the girlfriend because they just like beat the hell out of each other.
For some of them,
basically like we got sick of going there all the time.
They gotta call the cops over. This bitch took the last beer.
Oh, I mean,
I think of the like. It's funny because like. I think of all these people as the same people you'd see at Walmart. You just,
oh, dude!
Like that's like the classic spot on people.
Yeah, I mean, I like see people in town. I'm like, that's the Walmart poster child. Like,
oh god!
I mean, they're just like that's what they do.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to like calls, people like get in fights over beer. I've gotten to calls because people were fighting over the last cigarette.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, you guys are really wasting my time doing this. It's like, I will literally give you $5 to walk to the gas station and grab a pack of cigarettes so I don't have to come back.
Yeah.
like
great.
I'm all about making my life easier. So if that's what I have to do,
I don't
that's
do
what
any
I'll
paperwork, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't believe you're like wasting my time for this.
You start carrying cigarettes and beer around with you.
So I
Here,
actually used
more
to-
beer.
I actually used to carry like a pack of cigarettes in my bag because like every time you arrest somebody, that's like the last thing they want.
That's what they
Like,
ask for.
can I smoke a cigarette before I go to jail? And I'd always have a cigarette to give them. And so that usually like put me in their good graces. It's like, oh, he gave me a cigarette once. Like I won't be a dickhead to him. And it's worked with like several people.
Yeah. Is like good cop, bad cop like an actual thing they teach you? It's like a real like they teach you like how to handle like certain situations and get certain information out.
No, not really, but like you can like use it.
Yeah.
Like I mean we've done it like several times. Like if someone's being like a shithead, like one officer will kind of like get into it with them like in like a little arguing match. And then somebody else comes up and is like speaks to him like in a civil tone, like they're like a human, you know, like is nice to him. So, you know, I've been on like both sides of it where, and then it works, like they get calmed down. And, you know, most of the time they're like screwed anyways, but so they just kind of like accept it and they'll talk to you.
Yeah.
But it was nothing that's ever like really taught, I guess. It's just kind of like, it's one of those things like it kind of happens and you don't realize it happened until like after the fact.
Okay.
So
it wasn't on purpose as much as you think it is.
Yeah.
I just say that because I know it happened to me. like when I got busted back 22 and the good old I was on the way home from California to bring my sister's stuff back. She was moving back home and I had less than an ounce of weed on me and we got all the way back to Effingham, Illinois and got pulled over. The reason why the cop pulled me over, his reasoning was because the light on the license plate, he couldn't see the license plate, which is complete bullshit. No one like
that's another bush league tactic.
Bush league tactic for sure. And actually, because they charged me with possession of paraphernalia, and then they tried to give me a DUI. Well, because they didn't. Luckily, the judge like just dropped the DUI because of that bush league. He's like, you should never, because I took a picture of my license plate and everything else. Like, yeah, he should have never pulled you over for that. But I did plead. I think I got the possession charge. But regardless, he did the whole good cop, bad cop thing with me and my buddy who was in the car at the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a dick to someone and then somebody else comes in and they're like nice to them, it's like a sigh of relief. Like, okay, I'll talk to this guy.
Right.
I'm not talking to that asshole.
Fuck that dude over there.
So no, I know how that goes.
Never fun. Actually, another thing happened too when we were like, getting like 5-6 years ago. Me and Casey were coming home, and we were driving home from I don't even fucking know where, but like this cop was sitting there with his lights completely off, and I didn't know if this was like a real thing or not. Or allowed to do this, but we were driving. I don't know what town we were driving through. His lights were completely off and he's hiding behind a sign or whatnot and kind of got us for speeding. Like, are you allowed to sit there without your lights on? Is that like an actual thing or is that, or you're like, I thought I heard that something like if they're sitting there, they have to have some kind of light on their car.
I'll be honest. I've never been told not to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never been told if it was like illegal to do, like if it's an entrapment type thing.
Right.
But I mean, I guess I do it frequently, like at night. But
is that because you're sleeping?
Like, no, I try not to sleep at work, man. I'll drink like an unhealthy amount of like energy drinks, but like if I'm like pretty much like the only time I would do it is if I was like sitting on a drug house. I would normally just park up the road and like just park on the like road and kill my lights and like wait and see if a car pulls out. And then if they do, you know, I turn them on. I just go follow them.
This is a little different.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, they know I'm behind them. So I'm just trying to find my reason, like why I can like get them stopped. But, you know, even sometimes, you know, if you get like people who have like essentially like been around the block a couple times, they like know all the ins and outs, like all the tricks. And like if you don't have like probable cause to get in their car, they'll just like tell you to get fucked. And if you don't have like a canine on hand, you're pretty much screwed. So
Yeah.
but I mean, it would surprise you like the number of people that you pull over that like leave a drug house and like, do you have anything illegal in the car? And they're like, no. So I'm like, well, you care if I search it? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And there's literally like a little bag of meth in the center console. And then they go to like think, oh, well, that's not mine. I'm like, well, unfortunately it probably is, but
It's in your car. It's
in your car. I mean, people that will tell you like you find drugs in their pants and like, these aren't my pants. Or like we had to,
That's my favorite line on Cops.
Oh my god.
we found like meth in this kid's sock. And he literally told us, like, these aren't my socks. Like, these are my cousin's socks.
It's not my socks. You didn't feel them when you put them on, you dumb.
Yeah, I was like, but that's the thing we're saying. We're like, you didn't feel this, like, this bag of meth in the socks? Like, he's like, you must have put them in there when I was asleep or something. And I was like, I mean, good try, like, valiant effort, but, it's probably not going to fly in court. Like, if that's your only argument, like, you're probably screwed, man.
What's the what's like the number one drugs that are coming through that you guys bust people for?
Right now it's meth. Meth is like the big one.
Oh shit.
So it used to be heroin. Like heroin was real bad in Kenton. And I mean, I don't know if that was like how it was everywhere, but yeah, I haven't worked anywhere else. Like, but I've talked to like guys who have worked for a while, and they're like, it used to just be heroin all the time. But meth is like more like readily available and more like price efficient. Like it's cheaper. Plus your high lasts for like, you can ride that shit for like 3 days. So, and I mean, like, Jesus, pretty much anybody can go make their own meth with like next to nothing. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it because you're using like ether, like starting fluid to do it. But
that's
so,
healthy.
I mean,
that sounds delicious.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't recommend.
Did you think meth was healthy?
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of
bacon's better than meth.
Right.
A lot of meth moves through right now. That's like our big one.
Do you have the picture of your big bust? Can you show? Do you have it like on your phone? He showed me this picture. He looked like a fucking kid in a candy store after he busted this. This is like one of the biggest busts in Kenton that came through.
Yeah, it's probably not like the biggest ever, but it's probably like the biggest this year, I would say.
His face is so like giddy that he did such a good job.
I was super hyped.
I was in tears looking at it. I was watching.
Gotta find it. Yeah, I don't know. We had a sheriff not too long ago, but it was like in 2020, pulled some car over coming from Michigan, and they had like, it was a truck, had like 36 pounds of weed in the bed of it. And so, I mean, it was all like dispensary weed. Like they must have just like went and like hit up a bunch of dispensaries, like him and his dad.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good one. I mean, granted, it's like weed, but it's still 36 pounds.
Is it like, oh, you just got some weed? Like, as other cops look down at it like, wow, good job. You got some weed. I got some meth and heroin here. I busted.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, it depends. Like, typically, like if I were to find weed on someone, like if it is not like an astronomical amount, I mean, I'll pretty much just like dispose of it. I go back to the department and we like put it in evidence to be destroyed. Like I won't charge anybody with it because
I'm moving.
Yeah, no shit. Like, damn,
I'm moving.
That shit would have been nice couple 10 years ago when I got busted.
I know. I mean, I'm an advocate for it to be like legalized, just in the sense of like, one, I think it's like beneficial. Two, it
save you guys
like,
a lot more time.
Yeah, it's like one less thing for me to do. Like it takes, and I don't mean that as like in a lazy way, but like I pull a car over and I smell weed, so then like I spend like 30 minutes like searching their car for like a little bag of weed.
Right.
So it's like I could be out doing something else that would like be more productive for like my work essentially. But I don't know if you'll be able to like see that picture. Yeah, I was pretty.
Yes,
hyped.
you are.
But yeah, I was like, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, that was luck. So
Did you get in the
So
paper?
do you let people off like if they're truthful, or not let them off, but is it like a lesser sentence? Like if they're upfront about, yeah, I've got stuff in the car without you having to like go through that much time and search it, or if they're honest, lying.
Depends what it is.
yes and no. So like I tell people all the time, like I'm like, if you like tell me like regardless, we're going to find it probably, you know. So like if you save my time, I'll save your time. And like the example I always give people. So like if for some reason like you have like hypodermic syringes in the car, if each syringe can account for a charge. So like you have 6 syringes, that could be 6 separate like drug abuse instrument charges. And you know, I give people the example. I'm like, if you have 6 syringes, you tell me like, hey, my syringes are in a Crown Royal bag in the glove box. I go in there, I search, I find your 6 syringes. I'll only like write you, like we give out criminal summonses, which is our base like arrest and release, just because we don't have the manpower to arrest everybody. So instead of writing 6 summonses, I'll write them 1, just for like the simple aspect is like, okay, you were honest, you were straightforward with me. And I try to tell people, I'm like, if you help me, I'll help you. I mean, there's circumstances to that. If I find your like 6 syringes, but then I find like other drugs with it, well, then it's kind of like you're fucked, you know?
Right.
I mean,
Gave you one chance.
All right.
yeah, I mean, that one, it kind of takes out of my hands, because then it like having a syringe is only like a misdemeanor of the 1st degree.
Yeah.
But like any like Schedule 1 or 2 like narcotic is a felony. So then pretty much like I have to like either arrest, like we don't always arrest people for drugs, which we should, but we'll like seize the drugs. You have to send them to get like tested, and then the people get indicted and get like a warrant. So it kind of sucks, because they're usually out for like 8 more months doing whatever the hell they want before they get indicted. And so you like send it to like our felony court, and they'll pick it up, and they'll usually like in an instance like that, like I'll charge them with like everything I can, just in the sense as stuff is usually going to get pled out, and I don't want my felony stuff to get pled out.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to get a felony, like I want to make it count. So I'll let them plead out all the misdemeanor stuff and then take the felony, like rather than we'll plead out this misdemeanor or this felony and charge you with 6 misdemeanors. Like they usually go, we'll drop the misdemeanors and then we'll charge you with the felony. But so it just depends how you want to work with it.
Do you have I was heard this. Do cops actually have quotas? Do you have to hit?
I know OSP does. You know, we don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was just like days
only one ticket.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
only like that. Just like how do you know you're not doing shit? There's like, well, you haven't arrested anybody in 3 days. What the fuck you doing? You know what I mean? Is it like doing?
Yeah, I mean, we
doing
like
a job? Like how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, we keep like stats and stuff, but it just, I don't know. It all like varies and depends. Like during like everything was really skewed like during COVID, you know, like because nobody was out, especially during like, the curfew. Like I worked 3rd shift, which our 3rd shift is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So the curfew was, I can't remember if it was 10 or 11.
I think it was like 10, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 10.
Yeah.
So literally, I mean, by the time I'm like getting to work, no bars open, nothing's open, and nobody's out. And so like there was literally just like not like you could drive around all night and you would find maybe like 5 cars. And then like 4:30 to like 5, you know, people start like rolling through town, but they're like going to work. And I don't want to like fuck with like the contributing citizen of society. So I just usually, I mean, whatever, they can go. But
because I know Kenton, obviously I grew up there half my life too. And have you ever arrested an Amish person going through there on a buggy? Or like have you ever stopped them or pulled them over or anything like that? Because there's been I can count at least twice from me driving through there that I about blasted one of them coming over a hill.
So me personally, no. Little backstory. One of our officers, who is he's our canine handler, he was an Amish.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. He left the Amish, became a cop. And
we might have to get him on there because I have questions
Yeah, no
for
shit.
those people too. I have some questions for them.
So he was an Amish, but he is actually like occasionally like we'll get like in town like a buggy will like run into a car or whatever. And so like, that's like considered a wreck. So our Amish guy has actually like wrote like other Amish tickets and they like know him. And like I don't know if any of you guys know like anything about Amish really, but they like they have like their own like language, like this Pennsylvania Dutch.
Oh yeah. Right.
So like our Amish, his name's Melvin Yoder, and I mean great guy, like fucking love him to death.
Yeah.
But he'll like if we ever do have to deal with Amish, we usually send him, and he usually like rambles off in his like Pennsylvania Dutch to them, and he can like still speak the language pretty fluently.
That's nuts.
So, and he's like, I know most of them, but it's kind of like, I shouldn't say we always send him, but Amish are very what I've learned is if you like leave the Amish, you're kind of like shunned.
You're like shunned from it.
Yeah. Like, so I don't want to say that they don't like him, but there's like, I would say there's probably like a little bit of beef there. Yeah. Resentment's a good word.
I've always wanted to actually talk to them just because of that. Someone that's actually left, like, to get their views on like why they left, like all that stuff. Because I can imagine there's like that first day they fucking leave, go and get like a fucking, I don't know, go to bars or just fucking going out, just going crazy, driving cars and shit, get his license.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't really elaborate on it much. But I've talked to like several Amish around the area who have like left and like they do like their own thing now. But it seems like they all get out and they have like a wild streak. Like
fuck yeah, just partying all the time. Those are like fun as shit.
Yeah, like they're like they're leaving when they're like 16, 17, 18, however old they are, and it's just like a whole new life for them. So they go fucking crazy, and I wouldn't blame them. Like I would do the same shit. Like you're literally going into like a new world. So
right, I could imagine being a kid and just seeing cars drive by, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like about these, about Xboxes and PlayStations and shit, and you're just just going away, churning butter, whatever you're doing the whole
dude,
fucking whatever you gotta do. Like that would
like
fucking suck.
It's like what I've learned is like every Amish community is different. So like Amish around like Hardin County, they're not even allowed to ride bikes.
What?
But like, it's like where like Bell Center is, Chris?
Yeah.
Bell Center.
Yeah. Yep.
So like those Amish are like a little bit different. Like they can ride bikes and shit. So like
it's like Mennonite?
They're top.
No, they're not Mennonites. They're actual Amish. No. So like you look like 15 minutes down the road and it's like a completely different lifestyle. It's like, why can't we do that?
That's because somebody's like, you know what? We're gonna ride bikes today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
he's just writing.
Somebody decide. Yeah,
different Amish chapter.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it is. It's pretty wild to like think about it. But I've so did I ever like tell you like I like my buddy's family like farms part-time, like they're full-time farmers, but I'll work for them part-time.
Yeah.
So his dad sold some ground to some Amish a couple of years ago that build log cabins. Yeah. And we would like haul these like they built a big trailer to like haul these log cabins. But like every now and then, like if they have projects around their farm that they need like help with, you go grab an Amish and you don't have to like, you pay them, but like not nearly as much as you pay like an actual like contract worker.
Yeah.
But there was two of them.
Permits and shit.
No, fuck no. They don't do that bullshit, man. Literally, I mean, like they find every reason to like evade paying taxes and all that other bullshit.
That's crazy.
But like the two we had, we were putting like a metal roof on like a hog barn, and my like boss out there like had like power tools, and he's like, listen guys, I don't care if you use them or not, you know, but if you want to use them, I'm not going to look at, like, I'll look the other way if you do, you know. And so they were a little hesitant at first, but when we were on like the east side of the barns, which was away from the road, those motherfuckers had the drills going ham, dude, like putting in like 10 screws to my one. And then, but when we got on the west side, like when there was the road there and like people could see, they wouldn't use them because they were afraid like someone would drive by and like snitch on them. But
That's insane.
And then I got like one of my buddies, he was a sheriff for a while. He was a part-time sheriff, like an auxiliary. And he found a car like out in the middle of like the country and somewhere, I think near like Mount Victory.
Yeah.
It was like parked in a field. So he's like, I walked up into it and it was this Amish dude fucking like a regular chick, like totally getting in on this.
Oh.
And he's like, what the fuck, man? And ended up like searching it, like went through their car and found like a bunch of drugs and shit. And like prosecuted this Amish dude, and he like got like shunned from the community and shit. They like tried to, yeah, they like the Amish people like came to the sheriff's office and like tried to file a complaint and was like, this is wrong. And then he's like, how the fuck is this wrong? Like he was literally like fucking an English bitch, you know, he's married with kids. Yeah, I mean they're like they're a different breed, literally.
That's insane.
Yeah.
They try to come in and file a complaint against someone that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, he's like, I literally just like pulled up on him and like walked up on that. He's like, this is like the one thing I want to see. And he's like, I mean,
It's like
Pull the
Grand Theft
body cam
Auto and the
footage,
cars.
just show to the body cam footage.
yeah, he's like, dude, you know, like an Amish dude who hasn't fucking showered for a week, fucking some nasty whore in a field in the middle of summertime. Like, this is not like what I wanted to walk up on today. Like, it wasn't on the plan.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
What?
I mean,
I could imagine some of the
What's
shit you guys pull up on. Like, what's some of the funniest ones you've hit with? What's the one that you talked about? I think
dude.
you said earlier the guy with his pants down.
Oh yeah. It was like this dude. He was like a habitual alcoholic. He's in jail right now. But I found him one. I didn't find him. We got a call
Currently in
for
jail
it. It was,
right now.
yeah.
Got out.
It was like, dude, believe it or not, his name's Mike Jones.
Who?
So like,
Oh my.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm like. I'm like, Mike Jones, and like no one gets it. And
Damn.
they're like, what the fuck
Nobody
are you
gets
doing?
Nobody.
Yeah,
gets it.
like one of my best friends I went to high school with, he's a cop with me, and he's like the only one who gets it. But he always like calls him my uncle. So he's not actually my uncle, but whatever. But he
Uncle
was
Mike.
like, yeah. I was like, God damn, Uncle Mike's at it again. But so this motherfucker is like, he was wasted. It was like noon, and he's fucking hammered in the Rite Aid parking lot, which is like 100 feet from our police department. So we all just like walk over there, end up having to arrest him because he's just so fucking wasted. And so like I pull him out of my car and like our sally port to like take him to like one of our cells to like sleep it off essentially. And I was like, come on, Mike. Like he wouldn't walk. I was like, come on, Mike, walk. And he's like, I can't. And I was like, why? He's like, my drawers. I was like, the fuck you mean your drawers? I looked down, this dude's fucking pants fell down, and no one wears fucking underwear.
Oh, God.
So I have to pull this fucking guy's pants up,
Dick
this
in the
fucking
face.
dick swinging in my face. And this is like a month and a half in, and I was like, this is not fucking real. I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, you gotta rest his ass for putting his dick in your face.
Big
Yeah.
Dick Mike.
Yeah,
Big,
seriously.
big dick Mike.
I mean, for like reference, like tell you how wasted he was. We could like hold people in our cells for 6 hours. Slept for 6 hours. We gave him like a breathalyzer to like make sure he was like okay. And this motherfucker blew like a .09. after sleeping for 6 hours. And I found him
Goddamn.
at like noon. At noon.
Oh wow.
Back.
You probably left him back to the bar.
Yeah, so you probably took him back in again.
So we left
Yeah,
at
so, I mean,
6.
We
Bar.
in instances like that, like we pretty much have to let them like walk out into our parking lot, and then we essentially just rearrest them. You know.
All right, go ahead.
Drunk in public.
Yeah, again, it's like a bush league tactic, but
Oh man.
we can't release this guy who's just like
Okay,
absolutely
Mike.
fucking
We'll see you
wasted.
later.
Great.
Yeah, we can't release this
Hey,
guy who's
it's
like
later.
absolutely
Hey,
wasted.
hey, Mike.
I mean-
That's fucking insane.
I mean, Mike was like a professional, so he probably would have been fine. Like his normal state was probably riding around like that 0.08, 0.09. Like that's just the normal morning for him. But
That's an average Tuesday for us.
yeah, exactly.
What are you sipping on?
Glass of OJ.
What's that?
Oh, Buffalo Trace bourbon.
Oh, real man's
So,
drink.
Fancy.
Yeah, I saw
I got
Joe Rogan.
the Bush Light
drink some
camos.
of his- Dude, my guy.
Oh
I'm a big Bush Latte guy.
Yep, saw the camo cans are out, so I had to get them.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't even see it. Chris knows that's all I
It's no
drink.
camo this time.
Actually, we named an episode after you. Was it a bad day to be a beer?
Dude, yeah. Bad day to be a Miller Lite.
That's
as
what it
AK
was.
said.
Oh,
Dude, that was like one of the best. That was a good weekend, man.
That was a fun ass weekend.
Did you tell
Oh,
them
yeah.
about AK and having a baby the morning?
Oh, I don't think I ever
Saturday
told you
morning?
guys that. No, I didn't.
Dude, that is like the icing on the cake for that party.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever I thought maybe it did. I can't remember. Anyways, so we were all smashed. Just like the last night, we were there. We gotta get up the next day to get the fuck out. It was like a Saturday night, and it's like what 3, 4 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah,
We all
probably.
finally pass out, and I get up like not till like later on. Come to find out, our dude left at like 2 hours after we all went to bed because his wife was having a baby. Yeah, he told us like later on. We talked to him at the wedding. He's like, "Yeah, man." She gave me the call, and like I was like, "All right, babe. Well, I got to stop at McDonald's. Something. Give me a
Yeah.
coffee to fucking sober my ass up a bit." And he did. She's like, "You gotta get a fucking coffee. I'm in labor." Like,
Yeah,
gotta do
Dude, that
what I
was
do.
awesome.
It was like the worst possible thing for him to happen. He was smashed. He was smashed the day before.
Yeah, dude. I
Like a
mean,
champ.
they,
Made it.
well, Ohio State lost that day. That's when we lost to Oregon.
That is. That's right.
So I think like everyone was kind of drinking in denial because of that as well. So
Wow.
It's always a good reason.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Oh, can you show? There's something I want to see. I need to see your Xbox.
Oh shit.
you-
All right.
Is it
Oh,
possible?
is he
Possible?
the?
He's got the master. He's got the Master Chief. Halo
Yeah,
one.
this is the one you were telling
Yeah.
me about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it only took me like 3 months to fucking get it, but whatever.
Did you
Hey, it's better
confiscate
than
it?
the one I don't have.
Yeah. Just
I don't know if I can
confiscate
switch
it?
my cam. Yeah,
Oh,
so that's
that
it.
is sick. Is it turn? Is
Dude,
that
it's
like
got-
a- when you turn it on, is there a different sound?
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything.
and that I mean, I don't know if you could hear it.
All right,
You can
whatever.
YouTube it though,
That's sick.
but like, yeah, it's got a different sound like the regular 1X.
Yeah. I'm jealous.
So when you're not using it, do you lock it up in the safe? I probably would.
No, I thought about it.
I was more interested in
But,
what's in the safe.
All right.
Yeah, my hillbilly ass has like enough guns to fill a fucking army, but
Kevin
It
used
is
to
what it
have
is.
Kevin used to have a safe as a background. Then his wife told him he should change the background, so he had to move.
But I moved to the other side of the table.
Yeah.
see, I think his safe's probably
He
bigger than
gets
mine.
Kevin's got his fair share
Yeah,
of guns
I mean,
too.
I waited like fuck. I ordered that. It took me like 3 months to get one, and then I had to wait 2 months to get it because it was a pre-order.
Yeah.
And then like how I got mine, like I just like searched on Twitter all the time, and I told a couple of like my dudes that were like looking for them. My one buddy got one in like 8 hours, so I was a little fucking
Damn.
hot. I was a little hot. I'm like, dude, I tried for like months
Wait,
and couldn't get one.
Did you get the Master Chief one, or did you get just
No,
regular?
he just got a regular like 1X.
It took
or Series X.
me. It took me a good couple weeks to get mine.
Yeah. And then I had another buddy who got one. It took like a week or two. So I don't know if they're just becoming like almost more readily available or what, but those two dudes had luck.
Yeah. Love mine. Have you been playing Halo much? I haven't seen you on.
Yeah, I played the last like 2 nights. I'll probably be playing after this.
Oh,
Oh,
about to join.
if you want to jump on.
Oh, we'll be on. I'll be on.
We're on every
else.
night.
We're on every damn night, basically.
Dude, and I don't know if it's just because like I've never played Halo before, aside from like this one.
Oh, really?
So I had like I had a PS3 when like Halo 3 came out, and then just like I never fucked with it after that. I always played Call of Duty, but it's a lot more. I like it a lot better than Call of Duty. It's fucking way better. Call of Duty just pisses me off.
Yeah,
it's the same shit every
frustrating
year.
Oh, I know. And I mean, like, as far as like the game goes, like it's so easy to like the weapon mods are just like off the fucking charts. Like it doesn't make it fun anymore. Like it's way too complicated for me.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say it's way too complicated, but I don't want to put that much like time and effort into like being
you get
good
a
at
fucking
it.
gun. Yeah, understandable. That's understandable.
So that's why I like Halo is like you got the same weapons like every single time.
Yep, that's understandable. I like it just because I feel like it's more competitive, a lot harder. You can't kill somebody by shooting them in the foot. Shoot somebody in the foot.
Yeah, exactly.
You're screwed.
Yeah, Halo's pretty prime, man. That shit's fun.
So what else?
Go
ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Let's say what other parts of the police department would you like to go into? Because right now you're just like patrol, basically, right?
Just patrolman. Pretty much
the 2-man SWAT
piques
team.
Me. No, fuck that. I mean, I'll keep my reasons to myself for that. But no, like what I would like to do is like having like a K9, be like a K9 handler. That's something that like piques my interest. You know, like I try to work like a lot of drugs, and I shouldn't say there's a lot of drugs in Kenton, but it's not one of the easier things to do, like as far as work goes. But in my eyes, it's like one of like more like rewarding things, and like more fun things to do.
I say, do they train their own? Like, if you get a dog, are you responsible to train it, or is it like trained already? You get the dog kind of thing.
Kind of like 50-50. You still have to go to like a 6-week training with them, and it's like every day.
Yeah.
I mean, they come out like you get them. They're not like a puppy, but they're, I guess you could say, like toddler sized.
Okay.
So one of my like really good friends, he doesn't work with me. He's a sheriff, but he's been a canine handler for a couple of years. Just got a new dog, and so he got it and had like 6 weeks of training. It was like OSP like puts on a training, and it was like 6 weeks. Then with like Marysville, which isn't too far.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff like they're like actually like German Shepherds like imported from like Germany, so you only speak German to them. So like as far as their like commands and stuff, like they know like their like basic commands are like all in German, and that kind of thing is what I've like kind of got from it. But yeah, you still have to go to like a 6-week training, and then they train like my buddy who's a sheriff, our canine handler, and then another guy who's a sheriff. They have trainings like every Monday with like other departments in the area. So they'll go and just like run drills, and then they have to certify. I want to say they have to do like a certain certification every year, and then there's other certs throughout like the year that they have to do to like be like qualified. If not, like they'll probably still have their craft.
Yeah.
But if you use them in like a traffic stop, someone could probably like put that in court. Like, is this dog certified?
Oh,
And if it's not, then it gets thrown out, it gets tossed. But that's kind of like, as of right now, it's like kind of the only thing that like would pique my interest, essentially.
that'd be cool.
Are they just German Shepherds, or do they have like the Melanios as well?
So my buddy who just got his dog, it's a sheriff, has a Belgian Mal.
Oh yeah.
And so he's a little bit smaller, but like he's a fucking psycho, to say the least. Like very like he's super high strung, like full of energy. And then our like department, like K9, he has a German Shepherd, and I mean they're like full-blooded German Shepherds. He's ginormous. He's like 120 pounds probably. Like ginormous dog.
That's what Mikey has.
I mean,
have you ever watched any of the people like run in those big suits and just like get taken down by them? Yeah. That is hilarious, dude. Those dogs rip you up.
Yeah,
that's my biggest fear.
We got a buddy, and his real name's Dylan. Everyone refers to him as Patches. I don't know if I told you about Patches, Chris, but
no, I don't remember.
I'm like honestly surprised he hasn't just like walked through my door and like joined in on this. So like my buddy Patches is like a certified idiot. Like he'd have been good on the Jackass cast. And I know he's gone to like he's not even in like, I guess you could say he's a corrections officer, like works in a prison.
Okay.
But he's gone to like the canine trainings and just like got bit for fun, like that's stupid.
I'm good.
But
I can just volunteer to do that.
Suit up.
It's just like voluntary. Like, they put the big suit on him and they like go to work, and Patches is like, all right, I'll fucking take it. But this is the same dude. I'm just like uncopulated or anything else, but we got fucked up one night, and we put a bet on the line. We played rock, paper, scissors, and loser had to get their nipples pierced. This Patches lost. And we went the next day. Homie got his nipples pierced. He always follows through.
Hey, I respect that. I respect that for sure.
So then I'll have to find my one picture of him.
But
of his nipples or him?
No, I have a video of him getting his nipples pierced. But so then the next week, because like in law enforcement, we have weird days off. Like I have Thursday, Friday off, which isn't terribly bad. But I used to have Tuesday, Wednesday off, which is what Patches had off as well. I'm sorry I keep referring to him as Patches. That's literally all I know him as.
You're fine.
But so those are the days he had off as well. And so we did the nipple piercing bet. And then the next week we did another bet, and we're like, I don't know if we can raise the stakes anymore. So then it came down to a fucking tattoo. And the loser of this game had to get the winner's name tattooed on their ass. And I won again. He got my name tattooed on his ass.
Damn. He's gonna stop making bets.
I mean, we ran out of ideas after that. Like really went
after you won everything.
Right.
We really went 0 to 100 real fast. And I was like, dude, anything worse and I lose is not going to be good for me. So it ended with him getting my name tattooed on his ass. But I have to find that picture of it real fast.
Yeah, that. I'm not doing it. I like getting tattooed. I mean, if I'm tattooed, not bad. I'd rather get a tattoo than my nipple pierced.
Yeah.
I get a tattoo on my ass. Ain't no big. That's gonna hurt. As bad as a nipple.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt, but like no one's gonna see that,
Right.
But I mean, yeah, the nipple piercings were.
The best part is he's got to take care of the tattoo. He's got to lotion it. And he's got to think about you every time he does it.
I know.
Does he still have them in?
Does it just
I kind of like these now?
Well, so the tattoo, is it say Conner Jones, Officer Jones? What does it say?
It says C Jones. And it's like the coolest part about it is like we just went to some random tattoo shop, and we're like told the dude what happened. He's like, you know, I don't. We're like, you take walk-ins. He's like, no. And we're like, all right, man. Well, do you know anybody in the area that does take walk-ins? And he's like, oh, let me think. And he's like, well, what do you want? They asked, like, what do you want done? So we gave him like the rundown of like what happened. And he's like, oh yeah, no, fuck that, man. Like, I'll get you. I'll do this for you. So he was like, we can do it two ways. Like, we can find a font, or he like looked at me. He's like, you can just like write it down on a piece of paper, and we'll just pick the best one. So I wrote my like script down like 100 times, and we found the best one. And he like peeled it off, and that's what he put on him. But it's hard to see there.
It's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, straight up got the ass tat the next day. Like, really didn't like fuss about it at all. Didn't try to argue.
I respect him.
Just like
let's go.
Like, we went and got haircuts, and even the dude that was like cutting our hair, we like told him about it, and he like threw in like $20 for it. You know, like everyone paid for it, so it was free to him. I mean, he just got to live with that the rest of his life.
That's funny.
So like everyone was on board for it. Yeah,
I respect him for going through with it, because I don't know if I could have done that,
dude.
There's nothing you can. I'm not getting your guys' name tattooed on my ass ever.
Don't make that bet.
I'm just throwing that out there right now.
Don't make that bet.
I don't think
I would never make that bet.
If I would have lost, I would have never got that tattoo. And you know, it's hard to like. The biggest thing is it's hard to keep that under wraps. You know, like, because if someone gets your name tattooed on their hat, like, you just want to tell everyone.
Oh, for sure.
And I mean, again, like, I'm speaking to Chris. None of you guys know my dad, but if my dad knew I had like his name tattooed on my ass, I would just be mentally abused. Like, to the point where like,
yes,
it wouldn't be good for
would.
me. So I don't know if I could go through with it for just solely that reason. Like, my dad finding out and just abusing me.
Your dad's hilarious too.
For sure, man.
Could get
a lot of dry humor.
Oh yeah, get old Todd on here.
Oh, dude, I probably wouldn't do it, man.
You don't think you would?
No, I'd probably like say something stupid to you and be like, I'm not gonna waste my time with that bullshit, and like walk away. I mean, that's like,
yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know if you noticed that, like, Zach's wedding, I tried to get like a Todd Jones chant going, and he like heard me. He heard me and literally grabbed like our grandma and was like, yeah, it's time to go, and fucking left. I swear to God, literally within like a 5-minute span, with like left his wife there, like my stepmom. He's like, you can stay. He's like, I'm leaving.
Damn.
This can't be real. I mean, that was like towards the end of the night anyways, but
okay. So now think about it. I don't think he said bye to anybody. He's straight up.
Oh no,
out.
dude, he literally grabbed grandma and was like, yo, we gotta go. We're out of here. So I mean, that was pretty much the end of that.
It's a good ass time. You guys got anything for him? We're going on about an hour here. Hour and 4. No.
But I don't.
This is your chance. Hey, any question you have for a cop, this is it now. All those times you got busted back in the day, you want to know why it happened. Give you a reason.
Yeah.
I know why it happened.
I've always wanted to know.
I remember.
Here it is.
I've always heard this myth. No, it's not about me, but I've always heard this myth that cops can't shoot radar in like rain or snow. Is that true? Does the water droplets affect it?
Yeah. So
write this down.
This
is why I speed in the rain.
We're recording it, so it's cool.
So like radar, you know, it's like they gave us like a whole breakdown of it, and I just don't use it enough to know. But if you're like running the radar in a car, you can't run like the defrost either, you know, because it's shooting through the windshield.
Yeah.
And that like air blowing up will fuck it up. And it'd be the same thing as if you were rains hitting the ground. It's fucking up like the radar, like the signal going to the car that's bouncing back to the radar, it fucks that up. And it's the same thing with the wipers. Like I've ran them with like the defrost on, and it'll have a car coming at me, and you know, like visually, like you can see, and yeah, like I can probably see it better than you guys because I see it more. Like I can gauge like a car's speed by looking at it, and it'll pick up that car and it'll tell me it's going like 90 miles an hour, and it's just because that the wind blowing off of the defrost is like fucking it up.
Oh, jeez.
So that's for the radar. As far as the like LiDAR, which is the laser, which you'll see a lot of, like I always see Dublin cops using them.
Yeah.
That's the ones that, like, you get outside of your car and like you're shooting at cars.
You're actually looking at it and doing it
on 270 every day, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
come around that
like
corner, there's right there. Come on.
Yeah, the LiDAR is like much more accurate, and you can shoot a car like up to like a mile away with it.
Oh, geez.
But you know, I mean, a mile away will never hold up in court. Like it's got to be within like a certain like radius.
Yeah.
The LiDAR is like way more accurate, and I don't think there's anything that like fucks with that. Mainly because like the radar is like a big beam where the LiDAR is small. It's just it's basically like, yeah. So as far as that goes, and I don't use it that we don't have any of those, so I can't tell you. For example, I used them like when I was in my academy.
Yeah.
And they pretty much said they're like pretty much bulletproof, but the radars do like fuck up though. But I mean, it's like common sense. You're like looking at it, like you can see a car. There's no way, like you can tell if it's driving 90 or 35. So
yeah,
right.
I was wondering, does it pick up the bigger? I've heard that too. I heard it's like it'll pick up. It's just like a semi goes blowing past you.
Yeah,
pick that up instead of you.
So like if you have it on and you're driving towards cars, it'll pick up, like if you have it pointed at it, it'll pick up what's coming at you. So if I'm like driving at one of you guys, for example, and you're driving 50 into 35, and you're the first car, let's say Michael's the first car, Chris second car, Tyler's third car, Kevin's fourth car, whatever. It'll pick you up, and like as soon as you pass me, it'll pick up the next car. But there's a remote, and you can lock it on the first car, like whatever I gauge your speed at, and you'll hear like it's all tone based. So as soon as the first car were to pass me, I'd pick up a tone, it would shoot way up on the second car. So then I could lock it on the second car. But yeah, if it's like a semi trailer, it's going to pick up on that because it's just a bigger beam, and it's going to want to pick up on the bigger object. But
learning a lot here.
It's all. What's that?
I'm learning a lot here.
A lot.
Yeah.
I also want to know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
I also want to know how much information is exposed on your guys' computers, like when you read somebody's license. Is it like the whole rap sheet? Like, if you've got stuff,
he's like, I know everything about you.
That's why it takes him so long to come back to the car, Mike.
Well, what about like expungements and stuff like that? Does it still show up like previous histories of like your entire record?
He's asking for a friend.
Right.
The system.
I have a court date coming
with
up.
A lot. It was when I got pulled over for like marijuana and stuff like that. I mean, I would always constantly get fucked with. Like as soon as my plates would be like red or a cop would get behind me, like some reason they had to pull me over and check on me. But it doesn't happen now. It doesn't happen now to me. And I know I'm a lot older, probably 10 years, at least 10 to 12 years older now than when I first got busted. But I didn't know if they can still see that prior history from that long ago.
It depends. You'd have to do some searching.
Basically,
essentially, if I wanted to find it, like I have your name right now. If I wanted to, I could go run you, which essentially would be a violation of the law. You're not supposed to like search anybody's name. It's actually like a felony if you like misuse like what we call OLEG. OLEG is like the basic, like I can search anybody. So like if you search somebody for like personal gain or like without reason to like, I have to be like associated with them in a sense of like they did like a criminal act or something.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
for
Can't
best
be like
example,
bored. Like this motherfucker. Let's see
Yeah.
what's up with him.
yeah, like I can't just go like search random people for the fuck of it, because you know there's like
Okay.
a drop down. There's a drop down tab at the very bottom that tells you like everybody that searched that person. So like if I get with like somebody who's dealt with like frequently, like I'll see like other officers have searched this person, but like,
Okay.
and I'm not gonna say like I could get away with like searching you guys, but it wouldn't like bring up any red flags for you. Not that I would ever like want to search you for any reason, you know, like that it's like pointless, but like,
Hey man, I got a warrant
think
now.
you-
You need to let me know.
I think you want to look at Mikey's.
but typically like if you Oleg someone, Oleg has like pretty much all you need to know essentially. But like the example they give you when you first start using Oleg is like, don't search like famous people, don't search your like fucking ex-girlfriend, don't search that hot girl you just fucking dealt with, you know, like common sense things that like obviously someone's done before, which is why it's a rule.
So like when Tiger Woods recently got arrested, you can't have a bunch of people just like, what the fuck happened to Tiger?
Yeah. So that's like the example they get is like, don't go and fucking search LeBron James, you know, because essentially he's from Ohio, and it's like he could be one like you could look up on the system, and they're like, don't fucking do that. Like for some reason that was probably always like the hot one to go like search. It's like, oh my god, I can go look at LeBron shit. And you know it would tell me probably more than you need to know. So but like one of our, like we had a checkpoint a while ago, and we picked up a dude, and I don't think he wasn't like fucked up, but he had something to drink. And this is like before I started. This is like story I was told. So I'll make it quick. Wasn't like fucked up, but they like smelled alcohol, whatever, had like a beer at dinner. And they're like, can you, like, for the safety of yourself and everybody else, let's call someone and get a ride. Like, if everybody calls, like, I'll call my cousin. And his fucking cousin was Maurice Claret.
Oh,
so,
shit.
Like, and the checkpoint was at Indian Lake. So, like, Maurice Claret, like, came and picked this guy up. So, like, in a sense like that, we're like, you need to check and make sure, like, Maurice Claret's, like,
still
a
sober.
good, like a valid drive. Yeah, he's sober. Valid driver, this, that, and the other. You would be able to like search him in that instance,
Gotcha.
Which would be like, I mean, Maurice Claret on the scale of like LeBron James is like a big deal. You know, it's like
right
in Ohio, big deal,
yeah.
but he's going on like 20 years now. So
yeah.
Have you ever got that? Do you know who I am? Probably not out in fucking Kenton, but like you get those people that are like, yeah, you know who I am, right? I know somebody, so and so. Get with
no, I don't think so.
It's like Kenton's kind of small, so I figured probably not. But.
Yeah, like very rarely. Like, would you ever?
Like, I don't give a fuck.
Get somebody like coming through. I did. Fuck, what I do. So I found like a van a couple weeks ago, and it was like a big like Ford like touring van. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah,
like a luxury van, and it didn't have any license plates on it. Like windows are all tinted real bad. And then there was a Jeep like following like closely behind it. And it had like the Mark Wahlberg like Chevrolet stickers on it. So I almost had this like instance where I thought like, you know, maybe fucking Mark Wahlberg's in that van, which is why this like car's following so closely behind it, doesn't have any fucking plates. And I ended up fucking
Marky Mark.
I pulled it over because it didn't have any fucking plates, and I was like half-ass curious. And the dude that was driving it was like, the dude was like, I know. I was like, I'm like, why don't you have any fucking plates? You know, he's like, told me. And I was like, why is that car like fucking following you so hard? And he's like, oh, I work for like Mark Wahlberg, like personally. I was like, motherfucker, like, is he in this fucking band? Because had he been, that'd have been sweet. But he's like,
I'll let you go right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Pulled over the
I'll
Funky
give
Bunch.
you the fucking
he in the
break,
back.
man.
He pulled over one of the Funky Bunch. It was Marky Mark in the back.
Yeah. He's like, dude, you're good. Get the fuck out of here. Can I please get a picture?
Right. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
like, famous people don't roll through Kenton.
Yeah, I can't figure that. I guess the biggest famous person you guys had was Matty Mock. Your
Oh yeah,
that went through that whole spiel when you guys don't even know him. He was like a huge
wasn't he, for Iowa?
It was Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri.
Well, then it was was it Cincinnati?
Same
too?
colors.
No, that was his
a brother.
Ben
Mock. That's
Yeah.
right. So yeah, that's probably the only famous person who goes through. Does he still live there? Is he back?
No, he's out in Missouri.
Is he still in Missouri?
So his dad was like the head football coach here, and we had a really good football team. Like my junior year, the seniors were really good. You know, for like small town Kenton, we had.
I think it was what Division 3.
We had 3. What's that?
You guys Division 3, weren't you?
We're D4 that year.
D4. Damn. Even further. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We bounced back and forth between D3 and D4. I think in 2003 when we went to that state championship game, that was Division 3. But we were D4 my junior year, and the senior class was like loaded. You know, we had like, I mean, for Kenton, in retrospect, we graduated like 150 kids, and we had 3 kids that earned Division I scholarships on that team in that senior class.
Damn.
But and so his dad like stuck around because he like kind of knew that class was going to be good.
Yeah.
And then, but like after games on Friday, he'd drive down to Columbus and catch a flight and like go wherever Matty was playing to like watch him. If like he had to fly, like if he was playing in like Kentucky or something, he'd just drive there. But
yeah,
when I was like a senior, he left and moved to Missouri and got a job there like before my senior year.
Gotcha.
And they pretty much just stayed there.
Then he got busted with drugs and everything else too, and kind of lost his threw away his career. But that's another story.
yeah, dude. I mean, what are you going to do?
Right.
It's like one of those things. Like I've like talked to him. He's like, you know, every fucking college kid's doing it, but you know, it's
you're the big guy on campus too. I could imagine that.
Yeah, and especially like I'm not trying to like justify him in any way, but like at that time, Missouri, like the campus itself was going through like a lot of like a big racial thing almost.
Oh yeah.
Like there been like a big racial protest, like their head coach at the football team stepped down. Even their president of the like university stepped down because of like all this like racial indifference and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's talk for another time.
Right. It was funny. It was like, so I used to work DirecTV obviously, and I'd go down High State's campus and install shit. Well, like right after Zeke, it was like one of his first 2 games. He played up in Seattle. And in Seattle, they have dispensaries up there and stuff that everything's legal.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So like I remember it was a big deal that like ESPN kept saying that Zeke was caught going to the dispensaries after a game, before a game, something like that. And I was sitting there with the guys I was installing with her. They started busting out laughing. They're like, we saw Zeke do like coke and shit like 2 weeks ago. Like weed ain't nothing compared to like how they were just fucking partying down there.
Like, I knew when I was living down there, like some of the people I was like friends with were like friends with Zeke. And it's like I heard some stories. I mean, it's just like I think that's like every college athlete, you know, it depends what scale you're on.
Right.
But like, I mean, as far as go in there, I'm busy. Who's
that?
Is that Patches?
Is that Patches? That's Patches?
Get Patches in here.
Bring him on.
Patches. Come on, Patches.
If you want to say hi to the podcast, put the fucking gun down. You don't need a gun. So guys, this is Patches.
I heard some stories about you, my man. You probably can't hear you, can you?
Yeah, I got headphones.
Your headphones in. I kind of want to see the tattoo now.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna come up and fucking show us.
Pat, I want to see your ass tat, bro.
What do you
You
say?
can come introduce yourself. I think they're gonna close her down.
Eric.
Fucking podcast, is it?
Oh, it's the greatest fucking podcast there ever is, my man.
It's better than most.
What up, Patches?
Yeah, guys, this is Patches.
The famous Patches. We've heard a lot of stories. Hey, I gotta say,
Famous badges.
I give you a lot of props for any bet you take and you actually follow through with it. The fact that you got your nipples pierced and your ass tatted.
Man, you gotta get it done, man.
Hey, I salute you, my friend, because there ain't no way in hell I could get my nipples pierced.
Dude, that shit fucking hurt.
I fucking bet. I get tatted up. I got a whole sleeve in my arm. I get tatted any day, but nipples piercing, no, thank you.
Oh no, it was a little awkward with like the whole like a big bearded fucking dude like touching my ass, like being real close to my ass and stuff. So it was a little fucked up, but like it was definitely more. I'd do that again before I get my fucking nipples done again. That shit hurt.
Hey, if you guys remember though, in Jackass, didn't they pierce the butt cheeks together?
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
That's the next bet.
There you go. There you go.
Best of both worlds.
The next of one up.
I mean, I promise you, I could like sit here for another like 3 hours to just tell you stories about the dumb shit Patches has done. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But,
Well, that's how we're gonna end this. Go ahead. Can you let's see the tattoo.
Patch, show him the tat.
Let's see it.
He's ready.
I was ready. He was too ready.
Oh, see, Joe. Yes. I applaud you.
It actually looks pretty good.
I had a different way to end it, but that's way better.
He took his time.
That's my perfect way to write it, man.
It looks good.
Oh.
It looks like that's like your official logo.
Right?
No, that's my legit handwriting, dude.
This is handwriting.
Yeah, that's
good handwriting,
my
too.
my legit handwriting. Like I wrote that out, and they're like, "That's the best one." So we put it on his ass.
That's a patch. That's the patch that you need
Oh
for your
my
fucking
God.
for your uniform.
Like celebrities have like their own logos. Like that's yours. It's good.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
that's fucking hilarious.
Like it'll be that on your name on Facebook with the check mark, blue check mark, so everyone knows it's real.
I'll make it like
See
10
Jones.
Verified.
Verified. Oh, wow.
You know, like you ever see like if Patches ever dies, like I'll probably like cut that out. Like,
Just cut it off his ass.
You can like cut like tattoos
grab.
out and get them framed. Like if that was
That'd be
get
gross.
framed.
An ass cheek just up there,
Yeah.
framed.
Like what is?
Oh,
Oh, that's for like
God.
in loving memory of Patches.
There you go. Jesus.
Hey, legends never fucking die.
Hey, that's the damn truth.
True statement.
Patches, you are a
Bingo,
legend,
Pat.
man.
Bing bong.
You are a fucking legend for just
Big
following
bong.
through with these bets.
My mom was so fucking disappointed.
That's why Connor was telling us you couldn't do it. What?
That was the best part about it. It's like he's like, we can't let my mom find out. I mean, she found out in like 2 weeks.
I get my other fucking like terrible tattoos from her, but like the fucking one that's like a funny one is fucking. He just found out in 2 weeks. Bullshit.
Oh, dude, that's probably your best tattoo you have.
Easily.
Easily the best.
The most meaningful.
Right?
Sure.
Oh fuck. All right, we're gonna end it on. We're an hour and a half in this bitch now. Got a lot of editing. Hey, Connor, I want to say thank you so much, man, for coming on here. We're definitely gonna have you back on
Yeah,
again.
dude. For sure, man. I'll
Anytime you
join
guys,
anytime.
Patches. Hey, Patches, you're welcome to stay on here. Come on here anytime too, my man.
All right, bet.
Well, yeah. Next time we'll do a joint one. Connor
There we go.
Patches, man.
Patches, you know the stories of
I'll
legendary
get a
Patches.
little liquored up with you, coach.
Bro, that's awesome.
So, yeah,
Oh,
we'll
fuck.
do it again, guys.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a whole different thing to end with, but that was way better. So we're fucking keeping that in there. Everybody, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. For me, Chris Webb, Tyler Thomas, Mikey Scheid, Kevin Salyer, and of course, Officer Conner Jones, and my new best friend Patches, the legend. This is the C Average Podcast. We love you guys. We're out.
Peace.
See you guys.